This conference will now be recorded.
Right. This is the Community Preservation Committee meeting on January 27th, 2021, being held virtually because of state regulations. And I'm going to, it's being recorded as what the voice just said, and I'll start by taking roll call. Starting with Tatiana. And if you could unmute.
Present.
Thank you. Andrew.
Present.
Heather Highmark.
Present.
Christina Kennedy.
Present.
Eleanor Ansis.
Present.
And Alan Bingham. Okay, we do have quorum. So that said, I'm going to open it up for public comments at the beginning. We have several members here from TUS. Start by asking if there's any public comments. Okay. Well, okay, just to begin this first meeting of 2021. Welcome everybody to the new year. As I mentioned, we have the SEF students here and they're going to give a presentation later during the meeting. Welcome to them and thank you for coming. And want to take a moment just to recognize last year the achievements, some of the achievements we made, just, well, not specifics, but just given the year we had, just to acknowledge that we did some great work. The things that come to my mind, because they're recent, were the 2 park openings, one in West Somerville, Powder House, one on Allen Street, but there's lots of great work that was done. The museum, affordable housing projects, all of it. So commend the committee and the city staff and all the work that the grantees did to make their projects successful, and acknowledge everything that the community is doing, the committee is doing to keep the place that much more livable, beautiful, safe, all of it. And it's especially important right now during the pandemic. And so let's see, do we have the agenda posted? I'm not sure that we do. Maybe it's not important, but okay. And so this is what's on the agenda for tonight. I actually led with the public comment request, so we're now going to move on to the review of the minutes from last month. Take any suggestions people have about edits or changes to last month's minutes. No?
I do, and they're small corrections. So under the growing center, you refer to the maple syrup boil. It's called the maple syrup boil down is what the name of that event. And then there you are. The third line in the middle, maple syrup boil down. And then a question about, there's reference to talking to the city attorney about the 1 year or about the licensing lengths. Is there a follow-up on that?
Yeah, so the city attorney did review the agreement, and I did share with her the recommendations of the CPC, and it's been granted a 2-year license.
But there's, like, for example, we could grant a 5 years license if we wanted to. There's no legal sort of say so on how long these licenses are. Is that correct?
I'm not sure if we can grant a 5-year now. So like Lisa shared with us, so they've utilized all the CPA funds and they've not requested for any additional CPA funds. So I'm not sure if moving forward, we can have any input in the length of the license agreement. But I mean, I'll consult with the city attorney and I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. I know that we recommended a 2-year, but I was just wondering for my own reference and knowledge going forward, whether there was some sort of legal consideration that we were constrained by, or it's more that we make a recommendation and then it gets vetted.
Yeah, so the CPC makes a recommendation. I'm not sure if there's any legal constraint in terms of the time, but again, I'll get back to you on this after consulting with the city attorney.
Okay.
So
Any
on
other-
this, I'm sorry, just on the same thing here on the minutes, there's several acronyms that I don't know who they refer to, like SMC. I don't know who that is.
Okay, I will. Yeah, this is what she presented. I was also not very sure. I'll consult and make sure I put the full names.
Okay. And then on agenda item number 6, there's a typo in the acronym for DCR. It shows up as DRC several times.
Okay, I'll correct that.
And in the lower paragraph where we talk about, it says, go up. Here, the paragraph that starts off with Ms. Carbone asked. The sentence where it says Ms. Highmark asked if the reminding work scope, I think that's supposed to be remaining, and
Yeah.
it happens twice.
Okay, thank you. I'll correct that.
Good.
That's it for me on the minutes.
Anyone else? If not, I had a couple also very minor ones. At the bottom of page 1, it says for a time without of school time, and it's the word without, but it actually it's supposed to be with and then space and then out of school. That's often with hyphens. It's a type of programming, out of school programming. So it's just confusing because it's the word without, and
Okay.
so I know what it's supposed to be.
Okay. I'll correct that.
Yeah, and then also on the next page, 3rd paragraph down, the CPC referred a 1-year license. I thought that, I'm thinking that was supposed to say preferred because I'm remembering the conversation. There was this talk of a license and how long it should be. And I just thought, oh, I bet that word is supposed to be preferred. Am I wrong? This is 3rd paragraph down, 2nd page, kind of 4th line down. Yeah, right.
Preferred, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I saw.
Okay. I'll make
Okay.
it. Yeah.
If there's no other feedback or comments on the notes, then maybe somebody can make a motion to approve them with the edits.
I move to approve the meeting minutes from December 16, 2020 with edits.
I second that.
Oh. Okay, all in favor? Andrew,
Yes.
Tatiana? Oh,
Yes.
Thank you. Christina,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Eleanor?
Yes.
Okay, I think I got everybody. All right, minutes are approved. And now we will move on to the introduction of the Tufts UEP Field Project Team.
Good evening, members of the commission. Thank you for having us tonight, and thank you for putting this project forward to the field projects. We're excited to get to work with Judith and with you all. First, we just wanted to introduce, in case you're not familiar, the Tufts UEP program, Urban and Environmental Policy and Planning. The program likes to call their cohorts practical visionaries. And really what that means is taking the vision of social, environmental, and economic justice into practice. And this field projects program is kind of the essence of that. It's working with a community organization such as you all and allowing us to put into practice our theory and research into a actual real life project. So we don't have a ton for you tonight. We're just introducing ourselves, and once we get into the course itself, we'll have more and hopefully be able to meet with you all again. But we're just going to go through and introduce ourselves. So we can start with Amber.
Hi, my name is Amber. I'm a first year master's for UEP. I did my undergrad in public policy in DePaul, and I'm shifting careers. I'm a 15-year nurse, so I'm excited to be here. I'm interested in I'm interested in how the environment works and how people flow. And I'm originally from Corpus Christi, Texas, and so I like the environmental aspect of environmental justice. So I'm excited to be here. I'm in Somerville right now, and looking to see what I can do to be a part of this great project. So thank y'all for having me.
Probably just go down the list. Bill, you want to go next?
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, thank you guys for having us tonight. It's great to meet you all. Looking forward to working with you guys further. My name's Bill. I'm a first year MA student at UEP. I have a BA from St. Mary's College of California. I'm originally from the San Francisco area, and I've been living out here for about 3 years now in Somerville, and then now I live in Medford, right on the line with Somerville. So yeah, really looking forward to working with you guys. I think I can speak for the whole group when I say I think we got lucky with this assignment. We are assigned these groups. We choose and kind of make requests, and then you get assigned a group. And I think we got really lucky. We're all obviously, being Tufts students, we are affiliated with Somerville in that way. A lot of us live in the area. I think we can all say we care about Somerville. We are very excited to do what we can to help. So that I think it's going to be a great partnership. Like Tony alluded to, we're first years. We're in the process of growing and learning. So we hope that you guys will, partner with us and understand that and kind of grow together and put together a really good project. So yeah, I think we're all really excited and looking forward to getting on with the semester. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I can go next. Gabby couldn't be here tonight. She had a family emergency, but she was looking forward to meeting you all, and she has kind of a background in policy, so she'll definitely bring a lot to the table as well. But my name's Kelsey. I've been living in Boston for about 4 years now. I live in South Boston right now. My background is in environmental studies. I graduated from University of Vermont. And I previously worked for a parks nonprofit in Boston for a bit to learn a little bit about the parks space. And I currently work for a company called Big Belly Solar, which you might be familiar with in Somerville. See a lot of head nods. And so learned a little bit about, city funding and things like that. So I'm really excited to apply that to this project and start working with you all.
I'm Tony Collins. I live in Somerville. I've lived here for the past 7 years. I graduated from Merrimack College and I majored in political science there. And then I got my master's in public affairs from Merrimack as well. And currently I work for the town of Andover. I'm associate planner there. Right now I'm focusing on bicycle and pedestrian improvements in town and advocacy work. So it's kind of my focus, but right now, but I am, I guess, policy focused overall too. So I'm excited to work with everyone.
And yeah, so this next slide here just reviews some of our project goals. And just to provide some further background, a lot of you might know that there was already a first evaluation that was kind of done by a Tufts student back in 2017. And one of her main recommendations was to have a field projects team from Tufts do kind of a more thorough assessment and have more hands kind of working on the project and taking a little bit more time to look at what's being done with the funds recently. And so this time around, we are just going to try to look at how effectively the CPA is being implemented through all of your wonderful work and efforts, and what impact it's having on the city, especially during these COVID times. And then we also want to look at some opportunities that might be available for doing more with CPA funds as well. So as it says in the slide here, oh, sorry, just wanted to go over some of those. Yeah, so as it says in the slide here, hopefully by the end of the semester towards May, I guess mid-May, we'll be able to share some of our findings with you, some of our recommendations based on the impacts. We can share our process and methods as well that we use to complete the evaluation, and then also come up with kind of a protocol which will hopefully be useful to you guys for future evaluations to determine effectiveness and things like that. And so yeah, we'll be working with the CPA manager and you guys as well, the CPC, to determine the scope of the evaluation. And I think we're all really excited to get started, and I think we all have a lot to learn from you. But our main goal is definitely to be as helpful as we can to you. So, and to deliver something that's going to be useful moving forward. So we'll definitely be in touch in the coming weeks, I think.
Okay, thank you so much for joining and for presenting. Does anybody have any questions for the UEP folks? All right, well, we look forward to collaborating. I know the last time around, the UEP project did some great work for us, so I suspect it'll be the same this time around. Thanks for coming. Okay, so.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Again, like the chair said, we are very excited to have you be part of this amazing work that the CPA is doing in the city of Somerville. Again, just following up before we get to the next item. So I just wanted to share with the CPC some good news. I'm sure most of you may have received this newsletter about the CPC. So the CPC still remains a very vital source during a very difficult year. We have hope for this year. The coalition has assured us that, we are likely to have some good funds coming from the state. Last year, as you know, because the new fee schedule came into effect in December 30th. So the distribution included only 10 months. So this year we'll have 12 months. And already the coalition has reported the real estate market is thriving despite of COVID. So most likely we are going to see really good funding coming through, although we are seeing more and more communities adopting the CPA, which of course affects the distribution of funds, but we are very hopeful. I also wanted to share with you about the excitement about our video that the summer youth did. So again, we've been recognized for this mini documentary that was showcasing the incredible benefit that the CPC is having in our community, and other communities have been encouraged to adopt the same. So also for the program evaluation, not many communities have done this. So I'm very sure that, again, we are leading by example by being accountable, transparent with this program, and yeah, excited to see what the Tufts team is going to do for us. And so, yeah, we will likely have this in the news also for a future edition for other communities to also adopt, the evaluation. So thank you very much. We are excited to have you. You're welcome to stay on, or you feel free, to leave at whatever point that you'd like.
Okay. So with that, Judith, are you going to present about the orientation guide now?
Yeah, so I shared with the committee an orientation guide, really talking about the work that we've been doing during the year. If you read through, these are things that probably most of you have gone through, but just to remind ourselves and also look at the planned activities for the year. So this year, the calendar, the same activities are highlighted where we next month will begin the planning process for the community preservation plan and through to December. So each month is highlighted, but I'll just go into details a bit on the topics for discussion at the different meetings. So those are the dates for the meetings, which I'm sure most of you are comfortable with. If there's anyone that may want to discuss the dates, please feel free to make your contributions, but these are the dates that have been set, and after this meeting, I'll send out invitations for the dates. So these are the main topics for each meeting, but of course, we'll have additional agenda items like giving updates on the different projects and also whatever other issues that may come through. So because of the new members that we are having, we will likely have an orientation training in March. I have requested Stuart and the team to give us this training that was given last year in February. I haven't yet heard from them, but hopefully they'll be able to give us this training. And the reason it's in March is because the recruitment for the public member is ongoing. So next week we'll have the interviews, and hopefully we'll have a member by the March meeting. Again, following on what we started last year, so again, this year we'll continue with members, just giving highlights or briefs about the different bodies that they represent. And for next month, Alan has accepted to give a presentation together with Sarah, who is our senior city planner, on the role of the Historic Preservation Commission and also the role of the city. And I'm hoping Christina, if time allows, could also give us the role of the Conservation Commission. You remember the last time Louisa did give an overview of the Department of Public Space and Urban Forestry. Elinor will be also talking to us about the Somerville Housing Corporation, and then the new member, I'm not sure if he has joined yet, for the planning board, Johan, will also give us, just an overview of what they do at the board and his role on the CPC. With that, Chair, if there are any questions or clarification or contribution towards the guide, I'm happy to receive them.
I'm thinking you can coordinate. I'm sorry. Laura, you first, I guess.
No. Go for it, please.
I was thinking that we'll need to put in the UEP group into that calendar so that we make sure we save time for checking in with them and their progress and presentations.
Yeah, so we are having our first meeting next week, and so they will be able to make a determination on where they can fit in the different meetings. As you know, they're here until I think May, so we'll try and see. And in the event that they cannot, some items cannot wait until the meetings, we'll be reaching out to the CPC to have their input, like in reviewing documents or reviewing whatever materials that they may have developed.
And Judith, we had talked about possibly adding other bodies to report or to present at different points in the year.
Yes, so this is what I just shared.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And so that covers everybody. And okay, and that's why it's TBD. Okay, and it's not on there. And so,
yeah.
All right. I think that'll be useful because we have like a lot of new faces to have the presentations. Any other input or questions on the orientation packet? Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be, like I said, because there are so many new people, I think it'll be useful not only to have these presentations, but to have something to hand people, if only electronically in this day and age, but something for folks to look at and kind of get their brain around what the CPC does. So thank you for taking the time to pull it together.
Yeah, I thought it was a really nice description of the role and also the timeline. It's a nice reminder, even if you're not a new member. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the next one is, I also shared another document on measuring success, and this was very good when we're having discussions prior with the chair and vice chair. Heather asked an important question of how do we measure success? So I put together that document, which I thought you could also discuss and give input. And this is also the right time because some of this material that I shared with you were developed by the previous staff students that did the evaluation. So with this group now, we have the opportunity for them to do research and also develop even more materials that would be useful, especially during this very difficult time of the pandemic. So measuring success, how have we been doing it? So every year, as you all know, the CPC develops a community preservation plan, and this is through a public process where we get speakers from the different boards, the communities, the cities to come and make presentations on the different categories. The CPC also sets goals and priorities, which are measured against set indicators that I shared in the monitoring matrix, again, which was developed by the TAF student. We also have a monitoring and evaluation plan that is added to the CPC, and this details what the CPC envisions the CPA program will achieve over the short and long terms. And we also have individual project reports on the measures of success. So as you recall, for the funding recommendations that I shared with you, every time the CPC allocates money to the different projects, under that funding recommendation, there's a section that has the different measures of success. So we ask that question, how will success be measured? And they tell us, and when we are monitoring, we follow also what they put in their document. So the CPA also, the CPA program's progress is also measured against indicators, and these are reported in the semi-annual report in November and the annual report in May. And again, the CPC conducts a program evaluation every 3 years, and like you've heard from the students this year, they'll also look at how the CPA is benefiting the community, especially during COVID. And so for the goal of the CPA program, this goal is aligned or contributes to the summer vision, which ensures by ensuring that the Somerville community maintains and enhances the character that makes it a diverse and unique city. As you may all be aware, we have now a Vision 2040. So we will again have to review, make sure that the priorities that the CPA has been working with are in alignment with the priorities within the Summer Vision 2040. So there've been 2 general priorities, and the CPC has been prioritizing projects that are consistent with the community's values and those that also use CPA funding strategically. So for the different categories, there are also the priorities that I shared with you. So again, this will be reviewed against what is in the new vision. So we also have the CPA results chain, which I shared with you. So they are inputs, and then the process, output, outcome, and then the impact. Now, there are those things that the CPC and CPA projects have control over for the results, which are from the input to output, but there are others that we just contribute towards because we don't have control over the results. So all these, again, are highlighted in detail in the monitoring indicators matrix that I shared with you that shows the output, the goals, the impacts for the different categories. And if you look at the monitoring matrix, that information, the data that is generated is mostly from documents from the city and other agencies that helps us determine the contribution of the CPA program in the city. So if you have any questions or any input that you would like us to look at as we work with the team, the TAF's team, please let me know, or you can also send in any written contribution or observations or things that you'd like us to look at. Thank you.
I would comment on, it seems like a lot of as you just said, the indicator metrics are sort of citywide survey metrics. And even if, you know, the CPA does amazing work, it may not ever be reflected in like a citywide survey because there's so many other factors, you know, influencing resident happiness or income or all those things. So figuring out what to measure that is more directly impacted by the CPA funds or about specific projects just would be my input.
Mhm. Yeah, so like you said, you know, looking at this monitoring matrix, so there are those assumptions there about the CPA. And one of them is that the CPA is one of the many contributors in making, you know, Somerville a great place. So you're right, sometimes it's very difficult to really look at the contribution, but when you look at the projects that we are doing, like the playgrounds and also the other facilities that the CPA is improving, you can receive real, I think, also output, like for the growing center where we have in the agreement, you know, requesting for how many people it has served, how many hours of volunteer. So those help, but again, somehow these are not indicated or represented in the monitoring matrix. So I think those are some of the things that we can look at with the TAFs team, like looking at specifically what are the contributions of the CPA and how can we report on them.
Yeah, you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just said, yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
What I was struck by as I looked at this was it's a very wonky document, if you know what I mean, sort of outlining all these indicators, the matrices and so on. But my biggest takeaway was, wow, a lot of this falls to the city manager, to Judith. What a lot of work. and it's great that the tough students are here because they will take a component of that and buoy her up, I'm sure. But yeah, what a lot. And thank you again for putting this in written format for us to look at. One other very minor thing I noticed is that chain graph, you had it up a moment ago on page 6, the results chain. The bottom left corner where it says CPC and CPA projects, I would just change it to CPA grantees.
Okay.
Very minor. But I'm a grant writer, so I can't help notice things like that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you. They're very helpful.
Any other comments or questions?
Sorry to add one more comment on this graph. I think the reality, thinking about the process, CPA projects are successfully implemented. I think that makes a lot of assumptions and that there are sometimes failures or lessons learned. And it's kind of an adaptive process we learn after each project. So if part of the students' work is to kind of update the workflow or the philosophy, I think incorporating lessons learned and failures and what we can learn from them is important.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I was sort of wondering about kind of the onset with the public process, well, the public process input for the community preservation plan. And I feel like there's been so much innovation in 2020 in terms of how public process happens, or there just is innovation going on in that whole sort of community engagement realm. And I would love input from the UEP team or others about looking at the public process and how we go, you know, that very first onset of how we gather input, putting together the plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Other thoughts on this? Other questions? Judith, do you feel like you have what you need from the committee?
Yeah, thank you. But of course, I will still reach out to you once we have some materials that the students have developed, again, requesting for your input. And I'm sure at the next meeting, we'll probably have something to share.
Okay. Sounds good. With that, Judith, maybe we take a minute to talk a little more about the new member from the zoning board.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has joined.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, he had a challenge with his power. He just sent me a message. Yeah, but we have a new representative from the planning board. He'll probably introduce himself at the next meeting.
Okay. And is there, what was that? Did I hear something? Yeah. Okay. Any other business that I'm missing? Other than setting up for next month?
No, there's no other business.
Okay. Next meeting then is Wednesday, February 24th at 6:30. It'll be virtual again, as far as we know, probably for a while.
Yeah, can we have a vote to adjourn the meeting?
Yes, I was about to say that. Somebody want to make a motion? Because I cannot.
I'll make a motion to end the meeting.
And I will.
Okay, all in favor? Say aye.
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 Okay,
Aye.
so I will officially adjourn the meeting at 7:16 according to my computer on the 27th of January. Thank you all for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.